what is the crux of assembly theory?
Yeah, I think we're still developing the theory, so it's like a incredibly exciting time, and I'm like kind of changing my descriptions of it all the time, which I think is really intellectually healthy. But the way I think about it is really to say that like causation itself is actually a physical substrate, or time is a physical substrate. And so we always think like, like the ticking of clocks, we're just passing through time. We don't think about time as being a property of objects. And I think what assembly theory is saying at its core is like sort of a foundational feature of physical reality is that the objects that evolution produces actually like physically embody the causation, the assembly index as we measure it, of this like recursive history of their construction. And so objects can be deeper and deeper in time depending on how much evolution was necessary to produce them. And so that's sort of the key conceptual, I think, and philosophical innovation of the theory is really to start treating time as a material property. I haven't seen that in any other theory of physics, and it's really counter to the way that we talk about time in most theories of physics. But I think it's actually really necessary to explain living complexity and like these things that we have sort of had hand wavy words for, like what is an emergent property? Like life is an emergent property, right? Like it's not reducible to its atoms, it's something else. And if it's like you can't reduce it to the physical structures like of like, atoms bumping around in space, like what is it about me that's different than just another random pile of atoms? Well, the difference between me and just all of my atoms randomly assembled is that I'm the product of 4 billion years of evolution that have constructed every single molecular component of me, every single organ, every single idea in my head, over the process of billions of years up into the last few thousand years and all the way into like the modern age of like cultural evolution and the things that have led to the way I think and interact with the world. So I am a constructed object, and all of that structure, I feel like, and this is what I think assembly theory is telling us, is actually a physical feature of me if I look at myself as an extended causal structure in time, and I can like unroll and measure this recursive history as a physical attribute. Um, but I wouldn't see that feature unless I was actually like, trying to look at that kind of measurement seriously. Um, and so, like we don't, it's sort of like the abstractions in our theories are not like, the reality of our everyday experience all the time, but they somehow become deeply intuitive. So like, the curvature of space time, that's keeping me in my chair right now is something I have awareness of, but our ancestors had no awareness of because it's a learned attribute of the world that comes from our theories. And it becomes a way that humans actually can communicate the regularities in the world that we see around us. And it becomes societal knowledge and technological knowledge. And what I see for assembly theory is if we had some kind of idea of the physical space that living things exist in, this kind of causal space that we call the assembly space, um, it would have similar explanatory power and would give us some intuition for why living things seem so odd.